Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm here at Long Island Retro. I haven't really done a video like this before. I've just kind of done, like, you know, voiceovers and things like that. And who knows, it might end up like that if it's too loud. But anyway, got brought out to this convention because I have a couple cool things to show off. So if you've looked around at my channel, you've seen the Joysound Festa, the VCD Player right here, and the DMB CDI. So these are all set up here with some games. This one's actually, I just reset it, so I got to put Smash back on it. Had people running karaoke for a while, but you know, you got to have people that actually want to do that, and right now it's been kind of untouched for a bit. But yeah, some really cool stuff here. So I mean, we've got this, which is a TorVision PC engine. Got a little card for it here. It's some type of like arcade TurboGrafx thing, which is pretty neat. I got the Divers 2000, which I've been wanting forever. These are all kind of the consoleized TVs. So there's the Sharp SF1, which unfortunately stopped working earlier today, and the Nintendo TV. Over here we got some MSX stuff, which I really don't know a whole lot about. Some older consoles. There's a PV1000, a couple like first gen things like that over there, and some more. I think this is also an MSX, but yeah, definitely is. It says it right there. Sega Mark III? Yeah, Mark III. Pretty neat. Now we've got a couple, you know, bad consoles. So right here there's the Casio Loopy, which kind of sucks, but it's there. The Game Wave, which was the only Canadian console, and yeah, also kind of sucks. Then over here we have the two things that I really want to get from Nintendo. I'm not really missing a whole lot, but there's a the 64DD. They've got the F-Zero expansion running, and then the Satellaview for the Super Nintendo. So those are pretty cool. We've also got an FM Towns Marty and the PCFX. Got a couple display cases with some cool stuff. This is actually mine. A video will come out about it eventually. It's just not really working right now. This one, I've already recorded the video for. Unfortunately, it died. This is the Famicom titler. So I'd like to get that fixed. I don't know if I'll be able to, but hopefully it's not completely dead. And then this is also my Mega Chat, which might get a video at some point, but we'll see. Over here we've got some other kind of grails. So there's the Panasonic Q, the Iowa Mega CD, the PC Engine LT, and then there's just a Playdia down there. But these three right here are all like grails of mine. I've been wanting them for so long. They're just, this one's probably the most affordable of the three, then that one, then this one. This Mega CD, it's impossible to get one, but I've been trying. Over here we've got the Nintendo TV color TV game. This was kind of their first console. Although it didn't take any cartridges or anything, it just had some built-in games, kind of like a Pong console. There's the Dreamcast Karaoke set. I don't know exactly what that is, if that's just a Neo Geo Pocket Color, if there's something special about it. We've got like the ASCII keyboard, GameCube controller, and then the Game Boy Player controller, and that one for the like the horse betting system. I don't know what it's actually called. Over in here we've got some dev kits and prototypes and things. So there's over around this side we've got the PS2 test console, the GameCube NR reader, there's the Netya Rose or Netya Raze PlayStation 1, the blue dev kit, and the Dental Jaguar system, which I don't know how many of those are out there. I think only like 2 or 3, but pretty neat that there's one here. This here is also mine. It's a Gold Star VCR that plays NES games or Famicom games. Currently not working, so that also needs to get fixed before I can make a video on it. There's an IQ player, an NDev dev kit, which is cool. This one I've been wanting for a while. This is the PC Engine amp. So this kind of goes underneath the whole PC Engine CD setup and just looks really cool. Got an Apple Pippin, which I've also been looking for a while. Different model of PSX from the one I have. Then the Laser Active, which is also one of my grails, but I just do not have the kind of money to spend on one of those. Here's like an Atari laptop. I know almost nothing about that, so that's probably the coolest thing here, and I don't know, so whatever. Over here, we've got the Prologue 21 setups. There's 2 of them, and actually another one right over here. All of this at these tables is all owned by Sega Steve, who's someone I've talked to quite a bit. He's just about as insane as me, but just focused on Sega stuff mainly, so... Yeah, so he's got like 5 of these things for some reason. He's got a Saturn dev kit, half of one, this Sega Saturn camera, which is pretty cool, and then this whole setup to go along with that camera. And this convention is really cool. It actually takes place inside of a like an air and space museum. So, you know, you just have all those games and everything over there. Then there's, you know, all of this stuff. It's just cool. I don't really know a whole lot about space. I'm not like super big into this kind of stuff, but I think it's neat, just the location of it. And this place is set up like a complete maze, so I'm trying to find my way around. It's pretty tough. Hey Adam, you want to be in my YouTube video?
Do I have a choice?
No.
Well, then I guess I'm in the video. If
So
you
what's
see a
up?
big blurred out area, it's because I put a content ID claim on the video.
Yeah, that might happen. Or if you just see a random jump cut.
Or if it's just dubbed over with somebody else's face and voice.
Yep. So
How are you?
he brought the Pluto.
No,
I got
really?
I got to hold it
It's
for like a minute.
Well, I said you could do like a photo and stuff, and you're like, I want to put it down. And I was like, oh, that's not.
I don't want to break it. Half of the stuff I brought here is broken. I don't want to make it worse.
Yeah, but did you break them?
They were in my presence. That's why they
So
broke.
okay, it's a bad luck thing. You're
Yeah,
really
this broke a
not doing
TV.
yourself favors by saying you break people's shit.
Yeah. Hey, at least I only break my own so far. You broke a TV.
I broke a TV.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. I plugged it in and turned it on, and it went. No, it was a flat screen they gave us, and we just literally all we did was turn it on, and then we just heard one of those like pops.
Yeah, it was loud.
It was very loud.
It
And we
scared
were
me.
like, and I freaked out because I thought the Pluto just popped, and I was like, no, it was the TV. I was like, fuck the TV. And I can't believe it. I think that would. I would not even blame you if it just turned on. It would be bad. Like I'd have to call Roger. I'm like, yeah, the Pluto just killed itself. But no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
So we're back a little bit later in the con. We got at the Video Games New York booth right now. I actually bought a lot of stuff from them at PAX. Or not a lot, but I bought a couple things from them. They got some cool like vinyl soundtracks and things like that. I really haven't got a chance to film a whole lot just because it's been so crazy. The time's just been flying. Like there's only maybe an hour left of this con before everyone's got to pack up and we're heading home. This is the last day now, but I haven't even explored like the majority of this place. So this is the free play section. They just got like a bunch of N64s and stuff set up. Back over here, there's some Wii's, some OG Xboxes, some NES's over there. I'm assuming somewhere here they have some sort of like a LAN party set up with like Quake or something like that. Most of these cons have something of that sort. But yeah, it is just really cool walking around with like a bunch of video games, and then all of a sudden here's some planes. And actually, the next place I want to go is up here. There's just a huge hallway of arcade cabinets, and it's kind of in like this weird tunnel. It's really cool. All right, so I already know this is not going to show on camera very well at all because it's so dark up here. But we just got arcade cabinets lining this entire hallway. So we've got Tetris, we've got a like a reproduction Polybius set up here, probably running one of those indie games that's supposed to be kind of like a fan remake of it. So that's cool. But yeah, just a really cool area, and it looks over the entire museum, so you can see all the consoles set up here for the free play area. There's a bunch more way out there. Quality is going to be pretty bad because my phone doesn't do well in low light, so it's the best I can do. Yeah, I would love to have one of these cabinets in my basement somewhere. I think it would be really cool. Maybe Street Fighter 2. I like Street Fighter 3 more. I think they actually do have a setup of that somewhere. We've got Pong, which is pretty cool. Some old ones. I think there's actually one that's even older right over here. Yeah, there's Computer Space right here, which I'm pretty sure is probably the oldest thing at this convention. But yeah, over here we've got some of the Nintendo cabinets. We got Mario Bros. And Popeye. So over here they have kind of like game consoles through history. They have like specific sections for different manufacturers or types of consoles. So they've got CD-based consoles. So they've got the PC Engine CD and the Sega CD right there. I've got some old NESs. There's the Sharp Twin Famicom, the Famicom Disk System back there, and then just your normal NES. But yeah, there's like banners up top kind of showing some of like the notable games and some marketing materials and things like that for each of the consoles, and then it's just got a setup of it right underneath. So super cool. We got Burnout 3 right there. Not as good as Revenge, but pretty good. Yeah, Sonic Adventure. Just some really neat stuff. Obviously, someone like me, I already have most of these consoles, but for someone who's not really that into collecting the old systems and everything, it's a cool place to just try them out because they've got pretty much everything. I'd love to have this setup. It's a Sega Astro City candy cabinet with Street Fighter 3. Love to have that, but I'm unfortunately not that rich. But yeah, some other stuff set up here. They've got Game Gear. They've even got a CDI. So there's like 6 of them at this convention for some reason. Neo Geo. They got some Tiger handhelds, which is pretty funny. The best Castlevania game. Yep. We even got a Lynx, which is pretty neat. Been looking for one of these, but they're impossible to find. Nobody at all at this convention even had one, which is kind of insane. Over here they have a Vectrex. There's actually like 10 of these things at this con for whatever reason. It's the most I've ever seen in one place. There's 3 different vendors that have them for sale, and then there's 3 of them on display. So I think that's kind of neat. Here we got some more like older consoles. So there's 2600, Odyssey 2, RCA Studio 2, the Telstar. I don't really get into a lot of second gen stuff. Pretty much the only one that I want is the Vectrex, because I think that's the most interesting, the coolest looking one. I already have a 2600, and it's really not my kind of thing personally. See, I've been here for like 3 days, but this is my first time actually going through the whole thing, since I've basically just been sitting around the museum section over there the entire time. Wow, it is bright. But yeah, right down here, here's the vendor hall. Made a lot of purchases down there. I will show these to you guys after. It's really hard to record in there, so I didn't get any footage of me walking around really. It's just so crowded. There's so many people. It's insane. This is probably the quietest it's been since like Friday morning. It's kind of crazy. So unfortunately didn't get much footage of that, but I'll show you guys all of my pickups and everything at the end of this video. And yeah, there's just like a jet hanging up here, which is awesome. But yeah, after this, I'm pretty much going to switch over to an unboxing of all the things that I picked up from the convention after I'm back home and everything. Yeah, anyway, I guess I'll see you guys, which for you will be in like 2 seconds. For me, it'll be probably 2 to 3 days. Alright, so it's the day after Long Island Retro. I'm back in my house here. I've got all of my stuff kind of gathered together that I've picked up over the weekend. I'll save all the big stuff for the end. I got like 3 really big things that I purchased and then a couple kind of smaller games. So I'll start off with some of those. Along with me on the trip, I brought my PS Vita, which I almost never use because I really don't have that many games for it, but I had kind of an incentive to buy some games because it was with me. So, started off with Borderlands 2. Not a very good port, and I'm aware of that, but I liked playing it on console, and you know, even though it runs at like 10 frames per second, it's still on a portable from like 2012, 2013, whenever the Vita came out. So it's understandable, and it's not like completely unplayable, it's just not the best way to play the game. I then got Rayman Origins, which I really like. I've never finished Origins. I played all the way through Legends, and I played the demo of Origins on the Vita. But I really like this game, and thought, you know, it would give me a reason to play my Vita. Next up, I got Terraria. I also don't know if this is a very good port of the game, but I really like Terraria. It's one of my favorite games in this style, like kind of a sandbox type thing, like Minecraft or whatever. This is one of my favorites, and I have no clue what the Vita port is like. I thought I might as well try it out. None of these were very expensive. I think the most expensive was like $30. So it really doesn't matter if it's bad. It's at least a game that's playable. The last one here I just got solely based off of the art on the front. I know absolutely nothing about this game. And it's called Freedom Wars. I just thought the box art looked awesome. I have no clue what it's like. I don't know what kind of game it is. I'm assuming probably like an RPG of some sort. Maybe like a Monster Hunter style thing. I don't know. But it looked cool, and it was $10, so I picked it up. Next up, kind of keeping on the theme with PlayStation handhelds, I got Killzone Liberation for PSP. Not really a specific reason why I got this one. It was just, one that I didn't have. I've heard of Killzone before. I've played a couple of them, like, not very much, but I've played them a little bit. It's a PSP game, so, thought I'd just grab it. It was $10. Then this one I believe I already owned, but not in the box, so that's the only reason I picked it up. I got the Sega 6-pack for the Genesis. So this has Golden Axe, Sonic, Revenge of Shinobi, Super Hang-On, Streets of Rage, and Columns. And I'm not sure if I actually own Streets of Rage 1 outside of the 6-pack, so it's a way for me to play that game. I think same with Revenge of Shinobi. But yeah, I just box Genesis stuff I like picking up because I think it looks cool. I'll put on the shelf. Most of them have this same red banner except for a few. $30, can't really complain. And then this one here is a similar situation where I already own the game but not in the box. This is Keith Courage in Alpha Zones. So everyone owns this game. This is like the most common TurboGrafx game because I think it was a pack-in. But I didn't have it in the case, so here we are. It doesn't have like that little protective thing in here, and the front's a little cracked, but I didn't pay $25 for it. I think I might have paid $20, which I'm not sure how good of a deal that really was, but I didn't have the case for it, so I thought, why not? Next up, I've got kind of this thing where anytime I see a boxed Jaguar game, I kind of have to get it. Obviously, there's exceptions because sometimes they're way too expensive, and I don't want to pay all that. But I really like collecting for the Jaguar. I think the boxes look really cool, and usually just try to pick up ones that I don't have. So I got White Men Can't Jump for the Jaguar. This thing is going to live in this case. I am probably never going to play it. But it wasn't too expensive. I think I paid $40 for it. And the box looks pretty clean. It came with a protector and everything. It's got all the inserts and manuals and whatever, so oh well. Next up, I've got Metal Slug First Mission for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I don't have many games for this. I think the only other one that I have is the Sonic game, and I really like Metal Slug, so I think I talked him down to $30 for this, and for that, I don't know what these usually go for, but it didn't seem that bad to me, so why not? And on the topic of handheld games, I also got Castlevania Circle of the Moon for GBA. Didn't pay too much for this. It's a Castlevania game. I'm a big Castlevania fan, so it's one that I didn't have. I would have liked to get the box, but I don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. GBA stuff, I usually don't care unless it's like really cheap, just because it gets expensive very quick. Alright, now getting into a couple of the more expensive games. I got Castlevania for the Famicom Disk System. So I believe this just has like slightly better sound quality. I think everything else about the game is mostly the same. I don't know if they ever changed like the difficulty or anything like that, but it's Castlevania. I really like it. I believe I have all three on the NES. I know I have 2 complete in box. Why not? I paid $60 for it. Probably about where it should be. I know they're cheap in Japan, but I mean, I import a lot from there, but I usually don't go out of my way to get like Famicom Disk System games, so I saw it there and thought I might as well. Next up, also for the TurboGrafx 16, I got Blazing Lasers, which is a really cool shoot 'em up. I'm not a huge shoot 'em up fan, but I played this one a little bit and I kind of enjoy it. I would have liked to get a complete in-box version of this because these do come in like hard cases like that Keith Courage game. And usually for stuff like that, I like to have them complete. But for $70, it lets me at least try it out, because I didn't even know if I'd like this game. Hopefully I can find, a better condition one that's not all yellowed. And also, speaking of TurboGrafx, I also got Bonk's Adventure. So I still need the other 2 games. I think the third one is very expensive. But Bonk's Adventure, $85. Manual's a little chewed up, unfortunately, and the hue card is kind of yellowed. It's very similar looking to that Blazing Lasers copy. So that's unfortunate, but at least lets me play the game. This is kind of a must-have for this system, and I just never picked it up. So 85 was fair. I think I might have talked him down to 80 just because of the chewed up manual and whatever, but yeah, can't really complain. And the final game that I got, at least unless I'm forgetting something, which I probably am, is Clockwork Knight 2. So shout out to Sega Steve. He's kind of one of my friends who's a little more insane than me, because, he does what I do, just buying weird consoles and stuff, but he only does Sega stuff, and specifically Sega Saturn. I know he's got a little bit of some other stuff, but like his main thing is like the Sega Saturn. He had a table there where he had a couple like extra games he was selling off and systems and whatever, and this was one of them. I still don't have the first game, but he made sure to tell me that you can play the entire first game in this one, so why not? The manual is not in there correctly. I don't know why that happened, but let's fix that. Disc's in really nice condition. It doesn't have that foam, but I don't care. And that was not a bad price. Alright, so that's it for games. I really didn't get that many just because I spent most of my money on the systems. So, start out with probably the cheapest of the 3, and when you see this, you'll know kind of how crazy it gets. So I think of the 3, I paid the least for this, which is a Neo Geo AES. Unfortunately, this is not a North American one, it's a Japanese unit. So it's not like as crazy of a find, because Japanese ones go for like a third of what the North American ones do. But I never had one of these. I've always wanted one. I actually bought a game for it last year at Retro Game Con. If any of you guys watched the pickups video, you would have seen it. But it's just one that's been on my list for a while, and I've been keeping an eye out for it, but they're just really expensive. Probably one of, if not the most expensive consoles to collect for. Aside from maybe the X68000, if you consider that a console, even though it's a PC. But like, games for this are in the hundreds, sometimes in the thousands. The consoles are usually in the thousands, and yeah, they're just not cheap. So, paid $450 for it, which isn't bad. Can't really complain. Oh, and it also came with the original controller too, so it's got this kind of fight stick that was bundled with it. So that's cool. Next up, this one's not going to show on camera very well at all, but it is the TurboGrafx 16, kind of carrying case, and inside it's got a TurboGrafx CD. So this system was not included with it. I already had one. The guy was originally going to bundle it all together with a system, but I really didn't need a second one, so I asked if he could separate it so it's just the carrying case, the CD-ROM drive, and then like the little dock. He was able to do that, so let me take it out of this case so it doesn't, so it's a little bit easier for me to show. Oh, and unfortunately these latches are broken, but I've already ordered replacement ones. They are not very expensive, which is awesome. So it doesn't stay closed right now, but hopefully I'll be able to get that fixed and make it look a lot nicer. But here we are with the TurboGrafx CD. So it's got this little CD-ROM drive that slots in the top. This is where you actually put your CD games, obviously. This is kind of like a dock that has built-in composite outputs, and everything kind of connects to it. The system, I believe, is locked on here from the bottom. Yep, so then the system can just pop right out. There we go. And this is basically what the actual unit was when I bought it. So it came with this. It didn't work originally. The guy said that it did, but I brought it home and I could not get it to read anything, which I was very angry about. However, I opened this up I had a spare gear sitting around from when I repaired my PC Engine CD, so I swapped the gear, I greased the rails and everything on it, and it reads most of the time. I don't think the laser's the problem. I think the laser's perfectly fine, but the actual motor is either dying or just stuck somehow. It might need to be greased more. I don't know. You know, you kind of have to give it like a little bit of a tap for it to start reading your games, because that laser just gets stuck and it will not move. But I was able to play Rondo of Blood on it, which is cool. That's the whole reason why I bought the PC Engine CD originally, and then, you know, I don't have any North American games, so that's the only one I can really play on it, but it works. I can play it, which is awesome. And finally, I believe the most expensive thing that I bought, it's kind of a tie between all three. They were all in the same ballpark, but keeping on the topic of TurboGrafx stuff, I also got a Turbo Express. So I've been thinking about buying the Japanese version of this, which is the PC Engine GT. But same guy that I bought the Neo Geo from had one of these at his table. Fully recapped, fully serviced, everything, and it works great. He originally had it for $600. I was able to talk him down to $550, so awesome. We just put blazing lasers in there just to show that everything works and whatever. And it's like, the cartridge slot's clean, it just boots right up. I don't have to reseat it or do anything. I don't know how that would come up on screen better, of what setting I should keep that on. But yeah, only real issue I've noticed with it, it has like one dead pixel in the middle, which is a little unfortunate. But overall, condition-wise, it is really good. Very few scuffs on it. There's like a couple little spots on the front, but it's really nice for its age and being a portable console. Like, I get Game Boys and stuff that are all just destroyed because, you know, kids drop them or, you know, put them in their bag and they kind of rattle around with a bunch of other stuff. But overall, condition-wise, this is really nice. And for the price I paid, I think I got a pretty good deal. Especially because the game store down the street from me is trying to sell one of these not refurbished and partially broken for $1,100. So I think I got a pretty good deal. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I don't really have anything else to go over. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, if everything worked out the way I want it to, you got a little bit of like a vlog in the beginning, just showing off the event and my setup and everything. And yeah, so I hope to come back next year if they want me there. It was definitely a really cool thing to see. It's something that I've never seen before at a convention. It was completely different than Retro Game Con, which I go to all the time. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for a future video on some of the cool stuff I got today. I also got some things that are being repaired by a guy at the con. So hopefully I can make videos on those things once I get them back, because it's some stuff that you guys probably have never seen before, and it's really cool. So like I said, like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.